like I said, try to remain positive and know what's important. That all of that stuff in my house were just things. There's great memories there. I have memories, but I lost everything.
We just got a truck. They called all the hotels around here, all the people that have taken in people. We're going to load up their truck, and we're going straight to the hotels that have housed this.
Welcome back to Apache News. At the beginning of 2025, our community was struck by multiple historic wildfires, which will be the focus of today's show.
We'd like to begin by thanking the first responders who have been bravely fighting against the wildfires.
We know it's been a rough start to the new year with lots of new and overwhelming information.
Here's a quick look at what's ahead. We begin with a recap of the Eaton and Palisades Fire, followed by an exploration of the Santa Ana winds and their role in fueling wildfires.
We'll highlight the incredible fire relief efforts and close with the stories of resilience and recovery from the communities affected.
The Palisades Fire and Eaton Fire, fueled by dry conditions and relentless winds, erupted in Southern California, threatening homes and forcing evacuations along its path.
The fires raging in Southern California this past week were believed to have started on Tuesday, January 7th, but there was a small flame at Pacific Palisades on New Year's Day. The fire was contained at 4:46 a.m., but experts believe this small flame could have been connected to the start of the wildfire. Although California has been known for wildfires and many Californians were prepared, the combination of the flames and winds was unbelievable. Two major fires spread around Los Angeles. The Palisades Fire took over big cities like Malibu, Topanga, and the Eaton Fire, which impacted mostly Altadena and displaced many Arcadia and Pasadena residents. On January 7th at 10:30 a.m., Michael Valentine, a resident of Pacific Palisades, called with reports of smoke near his house, which ended up being the start of the Palisades flames. The Santa Ana winds, which reached 80 miles per hour, assisted the fire in spreading. The dryness from the recent drought only caused the flames to spread more than 700 acres in a few hours. While the firefighters tried to contain the Palisades Fire, another vegetation fire started near the Eaton Trail, named the Eaton Fire. The Kinaloa Canyon was engulfed within the first 20 minutes as the windstorm blew over 100 miles, covering 200 acres in less than an hour. Residents got evacuation orders issued for Upper Arcadia zones around 10 p.m. that night. At 11:18 p.m., majority of Sierra Madre and Arcadia started getting evacuation warnings. These alarms continued throughout the night, causing fear within civilians. Arcadia was hit hard by power outages, debris from the winds, and evacuations that night. Many people were left without power, and the reckless wind damaged parts of their homes. The winds only helped fan the fires, causing more damage. Police officers alerted those who lived near the mountains to evacuate to lower ground since the fires were spreading fast. The two fires ended up growing overnight. Palisades grew to 5,000 acres with over 1,400 firefighters on scene. On the other hand, the Eaton Fire caused 95% of Altadena residents to evacuate. By the afternoon, the death count had risen to 5 dead, with over 10,000 acres engulfed. Pasadena and surrounding neighborhoods, including Arcadia, were put under a red flag warning until January 10th, alerting residents to be prepared for potential evacuations. As the fight against the fires continued, the fire department discovered that Pasadena hydrants were run dry. The water system could not keep up with the amount of water needed. This was due to the water storage tanks being drained fast, and the pumping systems being unable to keep up with increasingly high water demand, which made it difficult to put out flames. Therefore, calls had to be made as more resources from other cities and even out of state were being used. As the week progressed, the fires did as well. On the morning of January 9th, 20,000 acres of land were burned due to the Palisades Fire. By the end of the night, only 6% of the fire was contained. The Eaton Fire also wasn't getting better as it continued. At 7:53 a.m., the city of Pasadena notified its residents of unsafe drinking water. 39,428 people were endangered as the fire spread to 13,690 acres. In the early hours of January 10th, only 2% more of the Palisades Fire were contained. By that afternoon, 5 deaths were confirmed, along with 3 other injuries. The tragedy continued at Eaton with 14,117 acres burnt and 2,500 firefighters assigned to fight the flames at 11:08 a.m. By the end of the night, 27% of the fire was contained, along with at least 16 confirmed dead. By Tuesday, January 14th, approximately 2,722 structures burned down and 33% contained. These numbers may vary as both fires are still being contained by our very hardworking firefighters and government officials. During the fire, there were reports of numerous crimes as the flames continued their path of destruction. Looters took the opportunity to steal from evacuated homes and create additional fires. In Azusa, a man was caught lighting a bush on fire to create more chaos. Another man was arrested on the 12th with the suspension of a brush fire arson attempt in Irwindale. The Santa Monica Police Department announced the arrest of more than 40 people within evacuation zones from the Palisades Fire, with 10 of those being for burglary. Although there were speculations that an arson attack caused the Palisades Fire, Eaton was believed to be caused by faulty power lines and windstorms. Edison was accused of failing to protect those affected by the Eaton Fire. Wires were not cut in time and increased the sparks to continue. Although there were a lot of theories, there has still not been a confirmed cause for either of them. Sadly, 26 people did pass during these fires and 16 people went missing. Many died protecting their prized possessions or were caught off guard by the fast-traveling flames. We send our best wishes to their loved ones and dedicate this segment to them. With all the devastation that has struck the large community of LA County, it can be easy to lose hope. However, it is important to remember the support and resources that were given from other parts of the country. In these upcoming weeks, as things settle down and our community back on its feet, remember to appreciate the things in front of you and those close to you. Download the app Watch Duty to continue tracking the fire's paths and check out trusted resources for updates.
The fires were greatly aggravated by these intense winds, many of which caused mass destruction in the local SoCal communities.
These winds are called the Santa Ana winds. The region of Southern California sees an average of 10 to 25 of these wind events per year.
We are at Arcadia High School, where construction is underway to repair building damage from the wind. Behind me is the west wing of Zero, where a portion of the roof was blown off.
Around the rest of the campus, wind gusts blasted trees, dust, and greenery, making the campus dangerous for students and staff.
The Santa Ana winds usually arrive in the fall, peak in December, and leave around springtime. These winds contain cool, dry air that hovers over high elevations, but as they descend towards sea level, they become even drier and warm. In 2011, the Santa Ana winds brought massive storms to SoCal, shutting down schools including Arcadia High School and damaging many institutions. These winds contained a mixture of cold air from inland and warm coastal air. The winds we experienced this year were caused by our location lying in between two pressure systems. Meteorologist Amber Lee explains this unusual circumstance in more depth.
What happened last week was we had a high pressure system and then we had a low pressure system coming in. So sandwiching Southern California, these two systems, and then both of these systems spin. So the low pressure spins this way, high pressure spins this way, and it funneled right into Southern California.
This winter season, Southern California has not received rain since May of last year. Usually by December, there is around 2 inches of rain. However, there has only been 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. This is caused by 2025 being a La Niña year, a temperature pattern which influences climate. This resulted in hotter and drier conditions.
Once that fire started going, we didn't have any rain. We haven't had a lot of rain at all this season. And then that fire started and those winds just picked those embers up. And then that's what caused this huge outbreak and fires.
California has always had a devastating history with wildfires. The 2018 fire season burned around 1.9 million acres. The Camp Fire of 2018 is and continues to be the deadliest wildfire in California history, with 150,000 acres burned and 85 deaths. Another recent destructive fire season was the 2020 fire season, which burned around 4 million acres, creating mass devastation. The worst fire of 2020 was the August Complex Fire, which burned around 1 million acres. On January 7, 2025, we saw how the intense Santa Ana winds mixed with the lack of rain worsened the catastrophic disasters in LA County. Throughout the day, high and extreme winds reaching up to 70 miles per hour created dangerous conditions such as building damage, fallen trees, and downed power lines. Transformers on power lines flashed repeatedly because of all the damage the circuits were enduring. Although there is not yet a definitive cause of these wildfires, the winds ate the oxygen supply for the fire to spread faster and make it more difficult to contain.
The situation has escalated rapidly over the past week, and many people are suffering the outcome.
Thankfully, surrounding community members have been quick to assist in any way they can.
Shelters for evacuees are open, and donation centers are quickly being filled with sorting help from volunteers.
Here at the Pasadena Sierra Madre YMCA, supplies and resources are being made available to those in need of food, shelter, water, and other essential items.
At the moment, most YMCA locations offer support for impacted community members throughout LA. However, it is just one of many places providing aid.
In light of recent events, numerous volunteers gathered at shelters and donation centers to lend a hand, organizing supplies and temporary housing for those in need.
Today we came and we started helping out. We just wanted to make sure that everyone who needed something got something, because really people need it, so we're just here to help out.
A lot of my family friends have been affected by the fires. My partner's family comes from Altadena. So many people lost their homes, and I just wanted to make an impact as much as I can.
In the past week, the parking lot of the Santa Anita racetrack has grown to become one of the largest donation centers in LA for those affected by the fire. People from all across LA have come to donate supplies, such as clothes, food, water, toiletries, and other necessities.
People come in and they tell us their stories. They tell us how their houses were burnt down, what they lost. That's why we come back, and that's why we want to continue to volunteer.
Well, we actually started this event. First, originally went to the Rose Bowl, and we saw our friend on live in need of help, so we figured it'd be a good idea to go feed the people that were evacuated from their homes.
The community has truly united, with dozens of volunteers and hundreds of donations pouring in each day. However, the racetrack is only one of many places where help is available. Several shelters in the area have been assisting those affected. Hosted by Red Cross, we have the Pasadena Convention Center located at 300E Green Street. It has been continuously operating since Tuesday and has accommodated up to 1,000 people at once. Outside the convention center were many volunteers dedicating their time to helping out the community.
So we thought that we will bring some hot food for them, pizzas and bananas and water and some tea. And this is the way that you are giving it to the community that lost everything. Within a second, it's all gone.
The shelters have not only provided a safe space and essential supplies for people, but the Pasadena Humane Society has also stepped up to care for pets and animals in need.
Since the fire started, we've taken in over 650 animals. A little over 150 of them have been able to go back home, which is the best case scenario. So we are caring for nearly 500 animals, which is a little bit more than we're used to. We're going to have so many animals that we need to take care of. We're going to need all the hands we can have. So please look at us to volunteer in the very near future.
Surrounding cities have also followed as multiple donation sites have emerged from the embers to offer hope and solidarity to our communities. Some more drives you can donate to locally are the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, the Foothill Unity Center, the San Gabriel Valley Family Center, and the El Monte Emergency Resource Association.
Feeling anxious, having fear, uncertainty, those are all normal emotions, but having someone to talk to them with, whether it's a friend or coming in to talk if you're a student here, but that is really important. We want to stay informed of what's going on, whether you're in a warning area or if there needs to be evacuation, but just make sure that's not what you're watching 24/7 because that can have an impact on your mental health.
This past week, our community has truly demonstrated its strength by withstanding such detrimental hardships and proven how effectively we can work together towards a certain cause for the greater good.
Many lives are disrupted and forever altered by these wildfires.
People in our own community find themselves having to adapt during these tough times.
Businesses and homes alike suffer devastating losses, one of which is this McDonald's on the corner of Altadena Drive and Washington Boulevard.
Through all this distress, it's important to remember that you are not alone.
Devastated buildings, scorched to the ground, each carry with them a unique story.
Our home is completely gone. Sage and her brother Aidan and her dad were able to go and walk in before the National Guard got there and see the decimation. I think that was pretty hard hitting for them.
My son called me on Wednesday morning, and they had lost their house. That's when I really got emotional, and then it somehow went around, and then they called later and said, your house is gone too. And my son, Andrew, my oldest son, Andrew, tried to save it, but there wasn't enough water. And even when the fire department drove by and he flagged them down, they didn't stop because there was no water.
We have staff members who've lost their homes and have lost all those treasured memories or things that hold those memories for us. And they all have children, young children. So our focus is on helping them and being very mindful of what exactly they need.
We didn't think we were near the evac area. Eden Canyon's pretty far from us. We thought since our neighbors were evacuating, we'd leave, come back in the morning, and our house would be fine. Little did we know that we would have nothing left when we got home.
It was about 8 o'clock. Grabbed my purse and a change of clothes and left in my car. Driving out of my driveway, it took like 10 minutes for me to get out of my driveway. I didn't lose my spirit and my positive, so I'm remaining positive. I'm trying not to be sad. Every once in a while I'll think of things that I lost, some beautiful rugs, some furniture that belonged to my parents. It was beautiful, a lot of things. But They were just things. And what's important is that I survived, and of all my friends, I haven't heard of anyone that I know that didn't make it. So that's what's important in life.
These fires have left scars, not just on the land, but in the lives of those who call these areas home. Homes were lost, ecosystems altered, and communities forever changed.
We are currently in the Hillside Wilderness Preserve, standing on one of CAL FIRE's bulldozed fire breaks created in precaution of the Eaton fire moving south.
In these upcoming weeks, as things settle down and our community gets back on its feet, remember to appreciate the things in front of you and those close to you.
Apache News will follow up with updates on the fires in these upcoming months.
We wish you all hope, healing, and brighter days ahead. Together, may we learn, grow, and work towards a safer future for all. This has been Ariana Hernandez
and Amel Tesfaye from Apache News. Stay safe, take care, and thank you for joining us today.